You need those highlight shots. Hello everybody, my name is Mark Borgnuli, I'm a cinematographer, and today I found a music video I want to show you. When you do projects, commercials, music videos, the most important things are highlight shots. And I think this music video had a lot of highlight shots, and I'm going to show you these shots and also explain how they probably done it and why you should have highlight shots in your videos. So this is the first shot we are looking at, and what makes a highlight shot a highlight shot? A highlight shot for me is something that roundups the story. And when you think about a music video, think about exactly this scene. It's a scene that should feel not out of place, but bring your emotions, your attention, the overall mood of the video on point, and should be visible, interesting, and something special. So we have this guy placed in this graveyard. Then we have this woman around him with candles in their hand, just standing around him and looking at him. So why is this a special shot for me? First things first, it's an unreal situation. It's something special. There's a graveyard. Someone is in this graveyard, alive, standing, looking upside. Then everyone here wearing black clothes. And then they have this warm candle in their hand. We have nice color contrast. Of course, we have this moody, dark blue scene. We are clearly nearly nighttime. And then we have this contrast of these candles. So this is a specific shot because we're breaking some taboos here. Someone is in a graveyard. That's not normal. Then that everyone having a candle like this, like a ritual around him, is out of the norm. So overall, then we have a top shot. It's a different angle. It's difficult to do. You need a crane, you need a drone. So what do these shots have in common that you need? Something unusual, unusual angle, unusual actions. Everything should just be unusual. To the next shot. Here, now we have the contrast of the woman in the white dress. But what this shot makes so special, because the shot beforehand was fully loaded, a lot of people, a lot of atmosphere. But this shot is now clean, empty. A lot of negative space. Always negative space is your best friend because it lets the image breathe. It lets you concentrate more on the one important thing. We have this really clear sky, no one single cloud in the air, and this makes the shot special. We have low angle, we have this blonde woman, everything beforehand was really dark, everyone black, brown hair. So this gets a lot more special, a lot more intention because we created contrast. Contrast also very important when you have scenes that go in this mood, in this theme, this look, and then you break it. This is the moment where your shot becomes more, wow, okay, something important is happening. And that's what they've done here. They set a mood, they set an atmosphere, and then broke it completely. And this is what makes this shot special. This is also a very cool shot because now we have this woman laying on the ground. Then we have this really cool window light texture only on her. Seeing the whole image overall is pretty dark. The whole information of the room is in this area, and then we have here two little light sparks. But also there's a nice technique when you want to let someone feel isolated again. Everything around her is not important. You don't have to light everything on point. This corner is too dark, this corner is too dark. It doesn't matter. You want to show one specific emotion. When you make also this background more dark around her, feels more compressed, scared, everything. It fits more the mood than when you would now add another light shaft around this corner. Would be probably technically more accurate, but it will destroy the mood. Also, they chose a very warm color temperature. When you try to get a look like this, where you really, this Blade Runner look, I would say, want to do, make it in camera. Change your white balance of your lights or in camera to this very specific color, because when you try to do it in post and not shooting on a raw camera, you won't get the same look. It will look very washed out, dirty orange, color grade will be horrendous. So do it in camera. Also, textures. Textures are your best friend. As you can see, we clearly have a light window with blinds. Blinds create nice lines. The reason why it looks interesting is because we're creating layers. Layers is the most important thing for cinematographers. We always want light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. And this window does probably this in a smaller scale. Just light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. And this creates more interest, because what we do as a cinematographer is paint with light. And this is the most painterly thing you can do, is to add texture to a light. This is also a shot I find really fascinating, because the special thing about this shot is the compression. We actually have really wide angle shot. We see the sky, we see these buildings here, we see this man with a strong pose on the fence. But what makes this shot so special is the lens that I use here. It's maybe a jib shot, it's maybe a drone shot, but we are clearly on a tighter lens, 50mm or maybe even 85mm. So the camera is very far away, and this creates the effect that everything in the background comes closer. And in wide angle shots and overall drone shots or jib shots, this creates a unique look. Because most of the time when using a crane, you probably want to show more. So you're on a wide angle lens on 20, 24, maximum 35. And when you don't do it, you create a unique look, because no one is doing it. And because of the compression and the nice haze they put, or smoke, you can tell, in the background, which creates another layer, really makes this image feel more painterly, because it's so compressed. So this building in the background, everything feels fake, because it is such a unique way to show things. Also the framing. They didn't put him on center. They want to put him here in between, because putting your actor always in forms like squares or circles helps us concentrate on the important thing. Because with these fences, we'll create an imaginary square around here. So the only possibility to look is here. We also have the ladder that's helping with leading lines. Fence gives us leading lines. So just perfect composition, perfect mood, perfect trick to make your footage more interesting than just doing wide angle shots and show everything. This is really cool. Also on newer drones like the DJI 4 or Pro or something like this, you have now 3 different lenses in there. And we had it for a shoot the other day, and so first time having a smaller drone which have different lenses when you that created such a unique look that you can now choose a little bit tighter, because now the building's getting more compressed, the movement looks more interesting. I would always now choose worse low light drone with more lenses than one that have one great lens, because the looks you get are so unique and will enhance and improve your footage much more for other people. This here is also a great shot. We have this photographer in the center of the frame and the sun in the background. When you're going for shots like this on the outside, always try to backlit everything, because it's much easier to put a bounce somewhere so that someone is getting a little bit of fill light, then do it the other way around, that you diffuse the sunlight and try to give him a backlight. Overall, the whole scenery look most of the time more interesting. For sure, it's not always possible. Sometimes you have to diffuse the sun because you're fighting always with time, because the sun is moving, and then you have to be here, then you have to be here. So it's not easy, but most of the time try that the sun is behind your actor. It will help improve your shots a lot, because everything gets a nice glow, nice edge light, and like I said before, the work to key is a lot easier. What they've done here is, again, they choose a little bit of different lens type. It's a bit tighter for this type of wide shot, but I also use a blurry vignette around it. This also helps a lot to focus more on something. When you have an abstract scenery, there are adapters for your lens where you just can put it on and it will just blur the edges of your frame a little bit. But it's such an easy effect that you can also do it in post. It will probably look pretty much the same. But what this shot makes special are these particles in the air. Particles, smoke, everything, something like this that flies around, gives the chance to reflect, and gives a little bit more texture to the image, will look cinematic, because it's something out of the norm. Always can think about it, the most special things you see online are out of the norm. So when you're working on a shot like this, you're in this position, placed everything, then your next thought comes in, okay, how can I make it more special, more wow? So, and then maybe we can shake the trees a little bit so that this pollen, I don't know the English word for it, would fly through the air, or maybe someone with a hand taser should go in the background, gives us a little bit more depth. So there are a lot of possibilities you can do. But always, when you're planning a shot, always at the end of the day, go over every shot and think about, how can I make it thick, more interesting? So if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate a subscription from you. My name is Marco Bagnoli, and see you next time.